Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream. My name is Rodeblock, and I am here to start my very first stream. So, what you'll notice here on the screen is that I am currently sitting in the middle of Kuragane in Final Fantasy XIV, and the reason that I am playing this game is, first of all, I absolutely love this game top to bottom. But I am a college professor at Marshalltown Community College, and as part of my coursework, students are required to complete a digital ethnography. And so that is basically a culture study of an online gaming community. So to give you a little bit of background, the courses that I teach, I'm a what's called the Esports Program Management Professor. And so I teach a whole suite of courses on esports and esports program management and league organization events, all that sort of stuff. But one of the courses that I teach as part of that is esports and society. And so that is the class where students are conducting this digital ethnography, this culture study. Now, you're probably thinking, look, man, I don't care how much you love Final Fantasy XIV. It is not a traditional esports game, and you're right. You know, it does have some competitive raid elements. It does have some PvP stuff, but Final Fantasy XIV is not your traditional esport title, right? It's not your League of Legends. It's not your Rocket League. It's not your Overwatch. It's not your Siege. But the point of this assignment that the students were given was not to necessarily do this with an esports title, but to go through the process of immersing themselves in the community of an online game, collecting data through research, and then presenting their findings when they are done. And so the most famous example of a digital ethnography to date is probably Bonnie Nardi's My Life as a Night Elf Priest. And so she chronicled her journey as playing World of Warcraft kind of in its heyday, back during Vanilla and I believe Burning Crusade. And the whole point of the culture study is, again, you are not going in with a thesis or an argument in mind. You are not going in to try to find or prove a specific point. Instead, you are taking this journey into this culture, and you are taking notes, and you are observing everything that you can in order to then collect those findings at the end and make some formal analysis when you're done. And so that's what I'm going to do here with, a very similar title, with an MMORPG, Final Fantasy XIV. And so the reason that I've chosen to stream is that's a really great way to collect that raw data. And then the whole point of this channel is that I want to take the gameplay that I'm doing and combine it with the concepts that I'm teaching in class and kind of weave them together in this natural way. So, one of the classes that I'm teaching down the road is called Esports Broadcasting and Streaming. And so, the traditional one-on-one streamer engaging with an audience, that is a core part of this, right? Now, when you're talking esports, you're thinking the giant events, the multicams, the casting duo, the analysis table, all of that stuff, and you don't have that here. But esports also lives, and streaming also lives in this interaction like this one right here. And so I don't have any direct experience doing that. I've done it for a high school, and I've dabbled with doing it for the college. But I need to get better at it in order to have a better understanding of it and be able to engage with that way with my students. And I've also encouraged them, if they're comfortable, to stream like this in order to collect their data for their digital ethnographies. But to condense everything down, I want to model this process. I'm going to talk aloud through my findings as I play, and I'm going to use this as a model for my students and maybe, educate some people along the way as I do this. So you'll notice some things about my stream. Some streamers obscure their chat. I have purposefully left mine open because a huge part of the culture study is engaging with that community, right? So when I hop into parties, I need to be talking to the chat. I need to be engaging with the people that are there. I want to see the random emotes and the things that are happening as I walk through these major hub towns. I'm part of a alliance, or what are they called? Link Shell guild. I can't remember the Final Fantasy term for them, but I'm a very, very casual member of a guild, and so you might see some of their discussions taking place, and then you may even see me flip over to this event channel. So I am a returner to Final Fantasy XIV, and so I'm in this novice network chat And so, you know, a lot of this chat is supposed to be people talking about other questions, and you can see we're talking about Padawans received in Christian school right now. So it's great, right? But that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you see what's going on in that chat right now, that is the culture that is on here. The other things that I'd like to say before we go is you know, please, if you are watching this, do not harass anybody that is in this chat. Do not talk ill of anybody that I party with. Do not use this to grieve or to go be a terrible person to others, right? I need access to this chat. I need people to see these things while I'm playing in order to properly do this study. But we need to make sure that we're all being respectful humans, right? And as you came into my channel, and you hopped into the chat for the first time, you notice some rules that are emblematic of the rules that we have in our esports arena. Things like treat everybody in this place with respect. Things like hold the salt, you know? Things like take care of yourself and each other. And then, most notably for me, this is my first experience going through the proper story of Final Fantasy XIV, so please keep the spoilers out of here if you've played through it before. To give a brief history, and then I promise I will get into some moving around and playing the game. I played Final Fantasy XIV at 1.0. I upgraded my graphics card so I could play. Anybody that was there, you know the game was barren. It was awful. There was nothing to do besides a handful of leave quests. So I promptly uninstalled after doing everything that I thought I could at the time. And I did not return to the game for years. I did not return when A Realm Reborn came out. I did not return to the game until the Heavensward expansion. So the Heavensward expansion came out, I hopped in, I created a new character, and I blitzed through all of A Realm Reborn until I got to the post-patch content. Now, one of the things that I discovered in the meantime, Final Fantasy XIV has what is considered by many to be one of the greatest stories, certainly in any Final Fantasy game, if not any video game, period. And I was used to the MMO trash stories. And so when I first played through Final Fantasy XIV, I escaped and skipped through every cutscene, and I mean every one. So all of the A Realm Reborn content, I just mashed through. So what happened the first time that I played, or I guess technically the second time, was I got to that post-Realm Reborn, post-patch content bridging its way to Heavensward, and I got burnt out and I stopped. And that was before Square Enix condensed that journey and made it a lot smaller. It used to be a long, terrible slog, and it's gotten a lot better, but at the time I just didn't want to stick through it. And I left the game. Years later, end of 2021, everybody is talking about Endwalker and how it's this amazing conclusion to the Final Fantasy XIV story, at least the arc that we have so far. And so I really wanted to jump in and give it another shot, but at the time, again, the damn graphics card, my graphics card in that computer was shot, and so it wasn't reliable, and so I ended up playing Final Fantasy XIV on the free trial version on the PS5. So I made a brand new character, brand new account, and I went through the main quest again. And this time I absorbed the story. I lived in that world and I became a part of Eorzea, and I loved it. And I got all the way through the Heavensward content, and my free trial promptly ended. And about that time in the real world, I was getting ready to transition to this job. I was getting ready to move, and I said I need to put this game on the back burner, but I will be returning shortly. And I was going to leave it at that. Then about a week later, Complete Edition went on sale for 30% off, so I snagged it up there, and then I'm like, well, it gave me that 30 days free, I better start playing some of it. And I would say out of the 30 days I had, I got on and played maybe 4 or 5 days, just very busy with the move and everything. But you'll see, I'm not in Heavensward anymore. I am in Stormblood. I am in Kuragane. I am not a class that I could have been before. I'm now playing as a gunbreaker, and so I got just a little bit of the ways into the story, and then life just got busy and I left it and I stopped subscribing, and I knew that I was going to come back to it. So fast forward now, right? That was probably June, July of 2022. It is now October 2022, and here we are again. So I decided to get the game reinstalled. I purchased another copy or another access to the game. Same account that I was playing on PS5, but I rebought everything so I could access it here on PC because I knew that I wanted to stream it and I did not want to be streaming it from my console. I wanted to be doing it this way so I could properly interact with the chat, have more robust feature options available. And so kind of here we are. So yesterday I did a bunch of key rebindings, refamiliarizing myself with the game, figuring out how to relearn the vocabulary of FF14, and now here we go. The last thing I'll say, and it'll probably come up as a common question, is kind of what class or what character did you play before? When I started this character, I was a ninja. I decided I did not like the 10-minute DPS queues, so I switched to good old paladin, and I did enjoy it. And then when I got to Stormblood here, I switched over to Gunbreaker, so I do like the role of tank. I was getting a little bit bored with Pally. I love the aesthetic. I've always loved the holy warrior type archetype, the tank / healer archetype. But I just found gameplay wise, I was feeling a little bit bored with it, right? A little bit stale. And I know that there's probably some really cool Pally things that come later, and I know they have some of the coolest gear sets in the game, blah, blah, blah. I may flip back to it eventually, but I decided to switch to Gunbreaker. I like how active the class is. It feels like a hybrid of almost like the ninja, although a lot less complex, and the paladin, right? So I'm getting that DPS feel in a tank class. I get this cool, ridiculous nonsense weapon in the Gunblade. I kind of get to look like Squall here for a little bit, and so I'm going to hop back in and enjoy it. So I will ask that you guys, if you are familiar with the game, to just be nice to me in terms of playing the game optimally, right? If I'm doing the right or wrong things. You know, I'm by no means deeply entrenched in the meta of Final Fantasy XIV. There's probably rotations I can set up that are better, but I did kind of grind through on a dummy and relearn the basics, and I have the control set up in a way that I will hopefully enjoy and that will work well for me here. So I think that catches everybody up to speed finally. Again, the purpose of this is to kind of live in Eorzea, take notes while I'm here, make observations during my streams, so that way I can model this process of conducting the culture study or the digital ethnography with my students. And so I have stopped right outside of the next main story quest. A good samurai is hard to find, and so I will pick up the story there. I'll be honest, I remember very little about what was happening in the story. If somebody wants to correct me, please go ahead. But from what I remember, before you venture to this part of the world, which you take a very long boat ride to get here, there are the nation or the area of the Alamigo. They have this little settlement in A Realm Reborn. They have their own proper country in the world. So in Stormblood, you start by going there, and the short version, from what I remember, is there's kind of a civil war taking place there. The Garlean Empire is in control, and they have basically taken a faction of Alamegans and turned them against their brothers. And so you kind of join the Alamegan resistance, trying to fight back against the Empire, and some part of that journey you get sent over here. And I'll be honest, I don't exactly remember why, but we'll hop into it. We'll see. When we get to the game here, we will hold on a second. All right, it's got a new follower to the channel. Thank you. That was my wife, Laura, who must have just gotten home and is watching. I got that deep boom sound from the new follower thing, and I had no idea what was going on. I knew that wasn't in the game. So what's going to happen is I'm going to progress here. I am going to go up to and start the main story quest. I am not going to skip the statement with the storyline, right? That's the main point of playing. I'm not going to read the text out loud, though, if it's narrated, right? I don't want to overlap with what they're doing. But if it is just text-based, I may read through some of it. All right. I will also let you guys know anytime that you come in and see me stream. I am a husband and a father of 2 lovely little girls, and so I've always got one of the baby monitors next to me, and so if I have to stop what I'm doing to go take care of a little one who woke up in the middle of the night, just be aware of that. I'll try to let people know. But I'm going to take a drink of coffee here, and then here we go. So let's continue here and advance this storyline. Also, I did take some time to get the stream stuff set up, but if there's anything you notice in terms of video, audio, things overlapping, things that don't look or sound right, please let me know, and then I will fix it for future streams here. So let's talk to Karaku here. Come one, come all, burns, cuts, embarrassing rashes. There is not that the mystical waters of the Bokaisen hot springs cannot heal. Oh, what is that in your hand? Love the music in this place. You seek this aura and this Rogadin, do you? 1,000 apologies, but I cannot help you. It is against our policy to divulge information regarding patrons, past or present. This is Lise. Please, we came all the way from Eorzea to find our friends. There was a really cool story thing that happened with Lise at the start of this expansion. I won't spoil any of that for those of you who haven't seen this part of the story up to this, although I guess it may come out while you're watching this anyway, but she's actually turned into a really cool character. I'm really excited to see where her story goes in this expansion. We have our reputation to consider, miss. Men and women from all walks of life come here in search of rejuvenation, body and soul. They seek privacy and discretion, and we have ever honored their wishes. Only the Sekisaigumi may demand otherwise. I am sorry, but there is naught I can do. I suppose we'll just have to ask someone else then. What about that woman who runs the hostelry? Kodakaze, was it? So now we're just kind of moving around town. I think the purpose of this quest was to attune yourself to all the Aethernet crystals in town while you're moving around. And I was in the middle of that when I stopped playing. So I've been checking them as I go. I think I have the inn and the district over here. I don't know if I have the hostelry, but I guess that's where we're going next. I'm also blitzing kind of through the main story quest. That's been more than sufficient to level up so far. And so I have grabbed some of the ones that will unlock things. I have these Ishgard quests hidden. But I did grab this quest here. And so I may pick up some of those, but any other side quests I'm probably going to leave on the table for now so I can focus on the main story and then keep those for alternate classes or things like that if they're needed here. I'm also hoping as I play, again, a lot of the interaction in this game comes from the characters you meet in the hubs, the players that are running around. You know, Limza Laminza on a Saturday night is just something to behold. But also the dungeons and partying up, and so I want to make sure that I get some of that content in, but we'll keep going through the main story until something like that begins. Another thing that I love about this game, and this is a great example right off the bat of kind of the study of this, is this little, the characters over here. When you are, I guess I should say quote unquote, new to the game, you get this little sprout icon, and that actually will persist forever. I can't remember exactly how far you have to progress in the game to lose it, but this is a little emblem to everybody else that's playing that, hey, I'm a new or relatively new player to the game, and so, you know, be nice to me, be patient with me, that kind of thing. And I think just that little marker alone, you know, in another game, you might have people that are like, oh, screw you, noob, like, you know, you're not welcome here. But the sprout system in Final Fantasy XIV really does work, right? And it lets people know, like, hey, this person may be new to this world. They may be jumping into this for the first time. And then you'll notice with mine, because I left and returned, I have this kind of like returner icon here. It's this blooming flower. This other player has it as well, which means, hey, I'm not exactly new to the game, but I've been out for a while. And so please be patient with me as I reacquaint myself with the game here. And so I think that's just a really cool thing here as well, and we'll dive more into that as it comes up naturally. Welcome, traveler. Can I interest you in some rice wine? Exceptional quality, delivered but the other day. Nope, take this scroll, please. An Aori shinobi and a Rogadin samurai. If I may, I would answer your question with a few of my own. If I speak of that which you know, Jin, be not offended. You are familiar with the situation in the lands across the Ruby Sea, the doomed rebellion after 2.5 decades of quiet? I see, and you are familiar with the ways of the Hingashi, how we elect to stand apart and support no cause but our own. Indifferent and callous, some may call us, but pragmatism is essential if a humble island nation such as ours is to survive. But we are not fools. Complete isolation is impractical, and so Kugane is open to Aijin, but we are equally hospitable to all. Or, if I must speak more plainly, yes, I can help you, but if I do, I must also oblige the ones who ask after you. Are you willing to accept this fair and equitable treatment? If anyone comes looking for us, tell them whatever you like. Few ships are willing to make the trip at the moment. Nevertheless, I made several introductions on their behalf. That was the extent of our interaction. I will provide you with the names of the captains if you like. Might be hopping on a boat again. Yeah, so a lot of times Final Fantasy XIV will do this. Other MMOs will do it as well, where they give you quests, and the quest involves you going around and just talking to NPCs that are stationed all over the place. And it's kind of boring, but it's a smart way to familiarize yourself with a new city. And Kugane is huge compared to some of the other hubs that have been in the game up to this point. And so it's not terrible to have the option to, or have the being required to go around and see these different places here. So show the sketch to the captains on the short pier. I know this is the side quest, but it's right here, so we're going to talk to him anyway. Generally speaking, when it's the side quest like this, I do click past the dialogue or skip rather quickly. That might trigger some people that are like, oh no, the whole story is good, but just in the respect of time, I usually click back through these or go very fast. Plots of land, taking this boat. Okay, all right. So this is just the new housing district that they added in Stormblood, and so it's having us go over to the ward where, you know, you can never buy a house because there's limited plots of land and they're stupid expensive. But again, that's another great example of living in a digital world, right? The culture. Final Fantasy XIV has housing districts with limited plots of land, and you can actually buy and purchase a home and then jazz it all up with your decorations and stuff. And so people will clamor for the best housing and the best spots and all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of cool too. Need to get to this short pier, but I don't know. Yeah, okay. I need to go up that way, I think. And you know what? As I was blabbing, I probably forgot to attune to that crystal. That's okay. Okay. So I think we're going down here. Yep. Is the short pier like this? This is the dock. Pier. Let's try this way first. We'll go up here. Nope. There's one. All right, let's do this. Oh, come on. There we go. I do gotta say, I played Ninja for a while, and I missed the flip when you jump. That was a really cool little touch. So we're showing the sketch of the people on the dock, trying to figure out which captain may know about the whereabouts of these two. And down the pier? I'm surprised that I wouldn't be able to see the character from this far away, though. Draw distance is pretty good. Yeah, they're not down here. One of the other things about this channel too, right, is this culture study is just but one of the many cool things that we're doing as part of my courses, and so, you know, that's the focus we're taking right now. But you know, eventually, you know, Final Fantasy XIV will take a back seat, and we'll hop over to something more relevant to some of my other courses that I'm teaching, right? I do want to stick with this and get all the way through that Endwalker story, but I also know how big of an undertaking that can be. But we'll live in Eorzea for the next 8 weeks and see what we can learn and gather. Where is this damn captain? They're not in this building. Unless, because don't they have the flame icon next to them if they're, I think this is an actual quest. Yeah. Okay. Here maybe? But as we get to other games and other things in my courses, we'll switch to different titles. So again, obviously, given that I'm the esports professor, a lot of my materials are esports based or more competitive oriented. And so my game of choice, not that I'm any good at it, I am terrible. Here's the guy, is Rainbow Six Siege. And so, you know, there may be some Siege streams where I kind of just stream myself playing or talk about how I go about coaching the game. And again, I want to dispel the air here right away. I'm not some like former professional player. I'm not some diamond, plat, champ, whatever level player. You know, I got stuck in the dregs of copper hell at the end of the last Siege season, and I think that was due to a combination of factors. One, I'm not that great at the game, but the previous season I placed high silver at the end, and so again, nothing to brag or talk home about, but I think I just got it. I was mostly solo queuing, and I also just got into kind of this bad stretch where I should have stopped playing, and I kept going, and I just kept getting frustrated and ramming my head into the wall. One of the things we talked about in esports practice, and this comes from Riot and League of Legends, is the player tilt types. Incredible video, really entertaining, but a lot of merit to it as well. And I firmly fit into the archetype of what's called the Scarred Veteran. And the Scarred Veterans, the just one more, the hey, I can win the next one type. And so they keep chasing after victories, losing and losing and losing again until they go mad or shut down, and that's definitely what happened. All right, I'll pause here and see what we got going on. How did it? Oh, never mind. Judging from the look on your face, you didn't have much better luck than I did. I wonder. Oh, you can mount that in your wall. Yep. So in your, you have housing, right? But you can also get everybody has like this little, I guess, hotel room, for lack of a better stay, in the inns. And you can kind of customize those spaces a little bit, and so they give you wall decorations and stuff like that. And then the other cool thing is, as you go through the main story quests, they will often give you new gear sets that will coincide with your class that you're playing. And so you'll see here, like, when I complete this next quest, I could get these items, and down there under item level it says GLA, MRD, etc. Those are the classes. My current class is Gunbreaker, which is GNB. So these would actually be the gear that I want. But this gear is actually slightly worse than the stuff that they gave me. And so what I'll probably end up doing is grabbing either materia here or grabbing gear from another class. That way, if I wanted to switch and play a different role later, I'd have some leveling gear for it. All right, so she's telling us that she learned about another fisherman she's going to go talk to, and that we should go talk to them. They should be right around the corner here somewhere. Maybe on top of here. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a fun-looking character. Like, she's just staring him down. What? Why do you stare? You have business with me? I almost launched into like a silly and probably a borderline offensive voice. I do a lot of voices when I read stories with my kids, and this guy just looks like he'd have a cute little high-pitched voice, but that ain't happening. By the 12, a talking fish. Yes, a talking fish. How very observant of you, Aijin. I'm sorry for pronouncing the Japanese words incorrectly. I don't know if it's Aijin, Ijin, whatever. I apologize. I don't know if it means like outsider, or like foreigner maybe. I don't know. You find me in good spirits, so your rudeness I will ignore this once, but only if you address me again in proper manner. Sorry, I've never met a... Let's start again. You're Gyoto, right? My name is Lise, and this is Mister. We're looking for some friends of ours. Presumably she showed him the sketch. See, I know these well. I helped them secure passage across the Ruby Sea. Here we go. This is the guy that took them across. Do the same for us. Yes. I could charter ship a second. Ooh, we got a new follower. Welcome, quite drowsy, to the channel. I think that is Travis. Welcome. I know Travis is a big Final Fantasy fan. I didn't think to bring any money, but surely Tataru will take us whatever... will let us take whatever we need from the Scion's coffers, right? We wouldn't be the only passengers, though. Could we take a moment to talk it over with our friends? He says, hurry, your ship must depart under cover of darkness. We shall meet again at sunset under the Tasagare Bridge. Do not forget your fare. Bring many gil. So again, I feel like we just took a boat ride to get here, and then we're going to take another boat ride to go chase down our friends here. Alfino and the others will be thrilled. All right. So we need to go speak with Alfino at the Ruby Bazaar. Let's see what's the best way to get there. Over that way. Let's see if I can go teleport. Go back here. Yeah, they're just... I'm probably not attuned to this one yet either. Oh, I am. Okay. I need the Ruby Bazaar. Another kind of cool bit of background lore for a lot of online games, Final Fantasy XIV included, is if you look in the top right corner, you will see ET, which stands for Eorzea time. So that's like the local time. So if I go back outside, you notice it's kind of the dead of night right now, which I mean, it's 9:30 here, so it'd be nighttime anyway. The actual day-night cycle that plays out is localized to each server. And I don't know, I just kind of picked a random server when I started playing, but the one that I'm on, if I was actually on their time, it's like way off from what I'm at. So I think I'm on a European server, but anyway. Do I need to talk to them? All right, here's Alfino and Alice. So those are twin siblings here. They play a huge part in the story. Still no voice acting, man. I'm gonna have to narrate all these cutscenes. We spoke with a number of merchants and captains at the southern piers. Several recognized Gosetsu and confirmed that he had been searching for a vessel to deliver him to Authard. None, however, made any mention of Lady Yugiri. Yes, it was the same story for us, and then you'll never believe what happened. Yes, we did meet the talking fish man. So this Gyoto claims to have aided both Gosetsu and Yugiri. How fortuitous. Not the word I would have chosen, Master Alfino. Stupid's what I'd call it. How can you agree to his price without making any attempt to haggle, or even confirming what it was in the first place? Yes, that too was a misstep on their part, but it's not what troubles me most. Gyoto and his brethren are not renowned for their generosity of spirit. Rather, they are disdained as scheming moneylenders, ever eager to turn a profit from others' misfortune. Everyone else we questioned stated that Gosetsu was alone. Only Gyoto claims to have met both him and Yugiri. I suppose it's just possible that Gosetsu made inquiries by himself, and only called upon Yugiri once he had found a willing captain? But it is equally possible, if not more likely, that you are being deceived. Do not forget that there are parties present in Kugane with agendas which may run contrary to your own. The Viceroy was once a spy herself, as I recall. You should be surprised if she did not have countless agents here in her employ, all eager to prove themselves to their new master. And what better way to do so than by delivering her the head of foreign insurgents? Fine, you might be right about him, but if Yodo's working for the Empire, who's to say he didn't try the same trick on Yugiri and Gosetsu? I mean, if he did, he might know where they are, and if he succeeded, they might be in trouble. Anyway, if he holds up his end of the bargain, we'll have nothing to worry about, will we? But if he tries to betray us, I vote we take him prisoner and punch him until he tells us the truth. Very well, you should prepare for the worst. Tataru will remain here, and I shall follow the three of you at a discreet distance. Once more, I must caution you to avoid physical altercations at all costs, even should Imperial agents attempt to engage you. The Sekisagumi will not hesitate to clap you in irons or cut you down. If anything untoward should happen, you are to return here at once. Is that clear? To review, Lise, Mister, and I will meet with Gyoto as planned. Alphino will keep watch from a distance, ready to provide support in the likely event that Gyoto attempts to betray us. Should that happen, you and Lise will subdue him, and together we will make our escape. As our actions will surely draw the attentions of the Sekisagumi, we will evade them with Alphino's assistance and return here with our prisoner. Does that meet everyone's approval? Of course, these precautions will be for naught if Gyoto does not play us for fools, but we shall see. To the bridge. So one of the things that you'll see in the Final Fantasy XIV story is there's always betrayal and political intrigue and twists and turns. It's a lot like the political drama of like a Game of Thrones or something, but I love it. All right, we're just gonna head that way. You know what I realized? I set my keybinds last night to get used to playing on PC again, and I did not set anything on my mouse buttons at all. I've got 4 mouse buttons that I could be using. I'm also probably... Oh, shit. Probably going the wrong way here. So one of the cool things, again, the reason I have the novice chat open, I moved it over to the event window. That way we don't have to see it all the time. But while I'm not using it, I have it open because, there is some random conversation taking place over there, but, there are people talking about Duty Finder and other things in the game. So that's really cool, right? The fact that I can log in and ask these questions about, like, hey, I remember back when I played, I was doing this raid, or I knew about this thing, and it seems like it's changed or it's different or whatever. How does this work now? And so just having this place that's always there where you can do that is really cool. Do I have to go? I have to go up there. What I was saying earlier, though, was, again, we'll switch games to whatever is relevant to what we're doing at the time. So right now, preparing for the culture study is important. So that's why we're doing Final Fantasy XIV. But a lot of it will be more competitive esports-related stuff. So there may be some Siege streams and things like that. I'll talk through kind of how I prepare maps and coach through that with students and whatnot. Again, I am not a pro player, not even close, and I will never claim to be. But I do think I have done at least okay at helping people think about the game more critically and how to improve at it and that sort of thing. So look at that. So the reason this character is glowing, LSA is glowing here, is that when I initiate this quest, it's going to enter us into an instanced area where nobody else can interact with us. So I think they're going to put us on a boat, or it may just put us into an instance version of the town where we'll have to get into some fighting. Usually if you see this, it means you're about to get into some combat. And so it's going to say, hey, next story quest is coming up. Your level sync. If you're above level 63, it's going to bring you down, right? And I am level 63, so it'll keep me here. So that's just so you can't steamroll through the story content, even though the story content is usually pretty easy anyway. You might actually get some voice dialogue here, so I can shut up for a minute.
He's late. Endless and most sincere apologies to you and yours, yes, yes. This way, quickly now.
That's pretty much exactly what I thought you'd sound like.
Enough. Where are you taking us? Where is the ship?
This ship. So very sorry to inform you, yes, yes. Long before was it pledged to another. To me,
Did they call it?
These ones are for Doma.
They call it? Is he putting up an ambush here? We're gonna get it jumped. Yep. All right, now you can see me fumble over my new key bindings.
I knew it couldn't be this simple.
Nothing personal, yes, yes. Just business.
Yes, yes.
Then business is about to take a turn for the worse.
Ah!
Come on, let's find a way out of here.
Lisa's quickly becoming one of my favorite characters. All right, let's do this. Oh, I should probably be doing AoEs. That's fine, I'll finish out this combo. Plus, they're fine. I don't need to tank in the... I don't need to tank in the story content. That wasn't quite optimal, but it was okay. I forgot Eorzea got that badass sword. As expected, the Sekisugumi have caught our scent. Since fighting them is out of the question, we'll have to find our way back to the Ruby Bazaar, evading their patrols as we go. If they find you, use smoke bombs to make your escape. Okay, so they're going to do like a little semi-stealth mission. Use smoke bombs to evade patrols. Be warned that attacking them... Okay, so we can't even fight them. Okay. I don't remember where Eorzea got that sword. I remember it. I remember the first time she used it, but I do not remember. Huh? Oh, are they saying I can't go that way? Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. That was just a tutorial. Right. Oh man. Gonna happen again. Here we go. I don't even know where I'm going. Oh, it makes you invisible for a short... Oh, shoot. I hope I'm going that way. Oh, wait a minute. They're telling us to follow him. Okay. My butt just got carried through a fight. Thank God for healers, lol. Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. That was another thing that I was excited about too, right? Since I am playing in a tank role, I feel like a lot of people when they play MMOs, they will only play DPS because that's what they think is fun. Which I mean, it's fun to put up those big damage numbers. Or there's a lot of this anxiety of like, oh, I can't tank, I can't heal, I don't want to be the reason that we wipe or that the party hates me, and so there's this stigma or this blame that gets placed on the tank and the healer, where if a fight goes wrong, if you wipe, it's all your fault for not maintaining the enemy's attention or popping a clutch heal or whatever. And so maybe we'll see some of that as we play. And again, Final Fantasy is a lot more positive than a lot of other games that I've played like this. And so even when you have those situations happening, and we'll have to see what happens when we play, but a lot of it is pretty positive. People are generally really understanding, and if somebody's being a dick about it, they'll get kicked from the group.
Clear the road, clear the road.
Oh, whoops, sorry. I wanted to go full screen too. Let's switch this over. I should have done that a long time ago.
You there, Korjin. We seek 4 foreigners. One, a brutish woman carrying an unconscious Namazu. Have you seen them?
For foreigners, you say? Ah, yes! Very rude they were, making no apology as they barged past. They went that way, I think.
Many thanks, good sir. With me, they cannot have gone far.
All is well. The Sekisei Gumi will not return this way for some time, I should think. You are of the East Aldenard Trading Company, yes? Come with me. I know a safer way.
One of the other really cool things that I love about the Final Fantasy XIV story is there's so many overarching story arcs that are happening, and some that have such a long payoff that I've already seen them start in A Realm Reborn or Heaven's Ward, and they're not going to pay off for maybe even another expansion or two. So there's all these long story threads in addition to the story-by-story expansions that are just keeps you playing. Again, I've fallen out of that a little bit, right? Some of those threads I'm not remembering, but I'm hoping that we'll see clues of them as I keep playing, and I'll go, oh yeah, that's right, this thing was happening. So
Our meeting went about as well as expected. We've brought the Namazu who thought to betray us. When he wakes up, we'll see what he knows about Yugiri and Gazetsu.
Well done, you. When I saw the Sekisei Gumi out in force, I did begin to worry, but I see my fears were misplaced.
Actually, if it weren't for Soroban, we might not have gotten away.
'Twas my pleasure.
Yet I must ask, Soroban, why would you deceive the Sekisegumi to help us, foreigners of whom you know naught?
that's what I was wondering, Elfino.
Why, out of the kindness of my heart, is what I would like to say, but my motives are not so pure. I chanced to witness your meeting with Hancock at the tavern and saw an opportunity.
An opportunity?
Like many, I came to Kugane as a trader to make my fortune. Korjin of the Red may serve the Empire as mercenaries, but Korjin of the Blue walk a different path.
So we're seeing any factions among this race of people about whether they work for the Empire or not.
Regretfully, most here would rather not meet our gaze, much less do business.
Casual racism thrown in there too.
So I seek the custom of those less predisposed to dismiss us outright, namely the East Aldenard Trading Company.
Quid pro quo, is it? Well, there is no denying that we owe you a debt. What say you, Hancock? Will you consider doing business with our entrepreneurial friend here?
Rest assured, Master Soroban, that in matters of trade, the company does not discriminate. We would be honored to hear your proposal.
I promise you will not regret this, good sir. Ah, yes. You sought passage across the Ruby Sea, did you not? I have a ship you can use.
You do? Well then, far be it from us to refuse. You have our deepest thanks.
And you mine.
Let's see. Again, I don't need that because my current gear is just a little bit better. I don't think my gear probably has the materia slots. Oh, it does. Oh, I forgot that I'm using the gear that I got in Heaven's Ward. I just glamored it to look like the default Gunbreaker stuff. I forgot I did that. Okay. So it'll be a little bit while before I outpace this gear. For melee DPS. For Monk's Hammer. So I guess these are all melee DPS, aren't they? I don't know. Maybe we'll just stick with the materia. Materia's always good. And then here's some of the other stuff. So there's your healing, there's your casting. I will probably take the healing gear. I do want to stack up and have gear, that way I could switch into a healing class if I wanted to. We're gonna be talking to this little fish man again. And again, look at that. People asking questions in that newcomer chat or that returners chat talking about things. You love to see it, right? I don't have to go to a wiki or bring up another tab if I can just ask the people in the game, and they'll usually be helpful, right? They could be spending their time playing, but that message pops up and they respond to it, and that's just, I mean, that's cool, man. Rise and shine, little fishy. I know you can hear me, so stop pretending to be asleep, or I'll give you another ride on my boot. No more boots. All my secrets are yours for the asking. Tell us what you know about Yugiri and Gosetsu, every last detail. If I find out later that you lied to me... No more lies, the clear, unvarnished truth. You have my word. Only the samurai did I meet. Yes, only him. He asked after a ship, so I provided an introduction to the Garleans. You mean you led him into a trap, as you did us, because you are an Imperial spy? No, I am no spy. It was just business. Fewer ships pass through Kugane these days, and we have struggled to make ends meet. So when the Garleans offered a bounty for any domins... Oh, my mistake. You're not a spy, but a common cutthroat. Not that I'm surprised. You need half a brain to be a spy. So what happened to the samurai? Savage, Alice. He would not go quietly. No. Blades were drawn, men were cut down, and the Sekisei Gumi came. They took him away. Hold on a moment. You mean to tell me the Aijin they arrested the other day was Gosetsu? Oh, had I but known. If he is in the custody of the Sekisei Gumi, I only see it. Okay. I was just thinking the same thing. So he said, as it is in Ul'dah, so it is in Kugane. But given the circumstances, it seems we have no choice but to resort to morally questionable means. So the thing I was just thinking with both Gyodo and this character here is that there's this recurring theme in the Final Fantasy XIV story of like these little scrappy merchant type characters that are like pulling all the strings, or the, you know, that money talks and rules politics. And so here's another perfect example of that, with this guy saying, oh, I didn't know it was your friend that got taken by, you know, taken in by the Sekai Segumi. Let me just throw some money at them and he'll be let go. In Ul'dah, it was a lot more sinister, at least more than what we've seen in here so far. Sorry, I'm skipping past some of this. Just preparing for the next quest, setting off for the barracks to try and get Gosetsu back. Yes. Alright, we're gonna go directly north. There's actually, I don't know if I have the barracks. I don't think I do. No. So we will hoof it. Maybe we'll hoof it. Damn, getting... That's something I'm not a fan of. I get it. But the platforms that are crossed by bridges and stuff makes the navigation a little bit tricky. So I need to make sure that I just get those other crystals attuned to, so I can just zip around this city and not have to worry about it anymore. God, even years later, this game is gorgeous. This before I forget. And we'll do some more waiting. I don't know what that king icon means, or that crown icon means. I know that there's you can mark yourself as a mentor for new players, but that's not the mentor logo. I don't know what that one means. Why don't we do this? We'll see if people respond to me here. Silly question. I see a character in town with a crown icon next to their name. What does that represent? Oh, that is the mentor icon. Oh. I guess that is the mentor icon. I thought it used to look different. Anyway. And did you see the dichotomy of that, right? So there was that they're a mentor, it means they have no life, just back to back. And I think that was cheeky, I think it was fun, but yeah. And I don't know exactly what you have to do. I know you have to progress past a certain point, you have to meet a couple of requirements, then you elect into it. And then I think if you're a newer returning player and you party up with a mentor, I think you get like XP bonuses. You get some sort of benefit for doing it, right? And I want to pause and talk about that for a second, because if we're talking about this game and its community and how it builds a positive one, that's a great example right there, right? They're providing incentive for the more experienced players to take on the role of helping the newer players, and it benefits you both. So we were just watching a video in one of my classes today. We were watching the a clip from the League of Legends Origins documentary, and they were talking about how they introduced the tribunal as a way to punish toxic players and cheaters and stuff in League back in the day. And they found that what ended up working a lot better later was actually encouragement and positive reinforcement. And you kind of saw a wave of that in online gaming as people kind of all figured this out at the same time. Like, hey, positive reinforcement works a lot better than the banhammer, right? Now, sometimes you need the banhammer. Somebody's being an asshat, you just have to shut them down sometimes. But if we actually just provide incentives for being human to each other on the internet, then it's gonna work. A really great example of this is, I think Multiversus, one of my students mentioned this today, Multiversus has a feature when you hop into a match with somebody else. I think it's post-match, it might be when you hop in, where you just hit a button and it like gives them a thumbs up and throws some coins their way. And that's literally all it does, right? It's just like a, hey, thanks for being a bro, and you throw the coins to them. And those coins you use to unlock, I think the characters or some skins or probably the characters. So like that's cool, right? That's a very simple way of like, hey, let's be nice to each other. Overwatch has the endorsement system. League of Legends now has an endorsement system. Like, so there's ways to do that. And when you're talking about immersing yourself and being a part of an online community and building a culture, stuff like the mentor system, encouraging people and rewarding them for being good to each other, that's how you make a good game. And again, I think compared to a lot of other games, Final Fantasy XIV does it right. You're gonna see some people being critical and being not kind, but when I compare it to my experiences playing Siege on any given night, it's totally different, right? And I get the setting is different too. The context is important. Siege is a competitive game by nature. FF14 is more of a cooperative game by nature. So it may be attracting different crowds or people that are in different mindsets at the time, right? My mindset when I play Siege is a lot different than when I hop onto this. Anyway.
You.
Oh, he's in there.
Was that? That was Gazetsu. I'm sure of it. He's in trouble. Lise, wait! Oh. I suppose we should follow her then.
Look at that sword. I'm trying to remember where it came from. I think it was given to her by another character, one of the Scions. God, what was his name?
Victory to the samurai!
He's the one. He's the one that's voiced by Balthier's voice actor from Final Fantasy XII. He wears the goggles. I don't want to go too much into Heaven's Word spoilers, but he disguises himself for a while and takes on a different moniker, and I cannot remember his name. I can see him. He's one of the Elven characters. One of the Anyway.
How many is that now? 10 in a row?
Gazetsu!
So true, give this man a true. Travis, do you remember the name of the character that I'm trying to talk about? He's one of the Scions.
This is a surprise. What in blue blazes are you three doing here?
He's the one that hung out in the Waking Sands all the time that you would get the quest to go fight the Espers from. He joins the Warriors of Darkness for a little bit in Heaven's Ward. I cannot remember his name.
I could ask you the same thing. We've been looking all over for you. and then I suddenly heard you screaming.
It would seem there has been a misunderstanding. Allow me to explain.
So, in summary, you started a brawl with some off-duty Imperial soldiers and were subsequently arrested by the Sekisukumi, whom you somehow befriended and convinced to set you free if you could defeat a given number of them in single combat.
That's funny. I like that they subverted the expectation there that he was trapped and in trouble.
10 bouts for my freedom, aye. 'Tis but a pity you came too late to witness the last one. And with that, I'm free to go, yes?
Our word once given may not be broken, but we pray you make every
Oops, I didn't mean to skip that.
circumstances notwithstanding, my lord. We are honored and grateful to have witnessed firsthand the skill of a Doma samurai.
I also am confused as to which part of the world
We
I'm
just
in.
concluded negotiations. I
Because
gather
when we
my
took the long
assistance
boat
was
ride
not
over here,
required.
I thought we were landing in Doma somewhere. Clearly that's not the case. Doma must be further away. But I know that Doma is where Yugiri's from. Yeah, what is his name? I might pause and look it up in a second. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the cutscene because I'm trying to think of that character's name. He has the red goggles. He wears the hood. He's got the gray hair. I'm just gonna look it up. Give me a second. Urianger, that's his name. Urianger. The theme song here in this city is just so dope. Sorry, I'm skipping through some of this. And let's see, I did attune to that one. I need to go to this one. Man, we've been playing for an hour, and other than that one little bit that I was in, no combat yet, which is fine. That's one of the things that makes this game great, is how really deeply entrenched they put you in the story, but sometimes the combat's easier on the stream, especially because it's easier to talk over that sort of stuff. 12, you're unharmed. As you can see, Master Alfino, I'm the very picture of health. You vile fiend, malevolent trickster, how kind the kami are to grant me vengeance so soon, but first I must demand you return the coin you so villainously embezzled from me. You have every right to be angry, good sir. Gladly would I return to you your coin had I not been forced to repay certain gambling debts beforehand. Setting that aside for the moment, where is Lady Yugiri? Was she not with you? For a time, aye, but we parted ways some time ago. The better to improve our chances of finding Lord Hien. Lord Hien. Forgive me, I have yet to explain. Lord Hien is the heir to Doma's throne and our master. He was a passionate voice for the cause of Doman liberation, and when we learned of the Emperor's death, it only grew louder. So you seized upon the opportunity and rose up to reclaim your freedom, only for your hopes to be dashed when Xenos led his army onto your lands? The Crown Prince was a merciless foe. Against him in the might of the... How do you say that? The 12th? We had no chance. Once Lord Hien understood this, he bade Yugiri take to the sea with as many of our people as possible. He, however, would stand and fight that they might have more time to escape. Okay, So they're referencing an event that happened in A Realm Reborn. That's where you first meet Yugiri. She shows up in the original storyline of the game, and so he's kind of filling in the backstory there that Lord Hien stood back and continued to fight over in Doma. Together we carried on our doomed war, then one day in a fierce battle, we were separated. I knew not what became of him, only that he was beyond the Empire's reach, and that to find him I would need Yugiri's aid. The situation grows more perilous by the day for the new viceroy. Yotsuyu is a black-hearted villainess who delights in the torment of our people. There is naught she would do to further her pursuit of Lord Hien. Thank you, I believe that makes matters a good deal clearer. It should please you to learn that we are come to aid the Doman Liberation Front in resuming their efforts to overthrow their imperial oppressors. Then allow me to join you. My inquiries here bore no fruit, hence my desire to return to Authard. Once there, I can lead you to our headquarters in Yangsha or Yangsha? Yangsha, where we shall all be reunited with Yugiri. Mayhap not all. Alfino's talents would seem better applied here in Kugane, working closely with Tataru and Hancock to feed us intelligence. There's a Garlean embassy just down the road, after all. While I appreciate the vote of confidence, I should be glad to accompany you all. As a soldier in the field, so to speak. Come now, brother. A competent commander assigns his soldiers the tasks best suited to them, as you of all people should know, and you are so very good at espionage and intrigue. For we must all serve each in our own way. Very well, it would seem my place is here. So that was kind of a reference to Alfino leading the Scions for a while and kind of taking this really big leadership role in the game earlier on. Soroban is waiting at the pier. Have fun, you lot. So it sounds like we're finally going to hop in a boat and go towards Doma and meet up with Yugiri. But man, we might still be in the middle of some story stuff for quite some time. Which is fine, Let's see. Over there. I don't think I grabbed the hostelry when I was over there earlier and I didn't do it. Oh, I did. Okay. Away we go. All right, here we go. Another boat ride. I don't know if it's Othard or Ottard or how do you say that? See, we were already a long way out. Uh-oh.
I remember the water, how it turned crimson in the morning sun.
What is that? It's dope too. Something Final Fantasy always does right is the music.
Rubies, stretching from horizon to horizon. You could almost believe it went on forever. But beyond that red expanse lay a land in turmoil. On the shores of Othard, our Doman brothers struggled in vain.
I want to know what's up with that tower. Giant stone Jenga tower. Alright, here we go. Oh. Let's see, this person also has the Fate Walker title. They're probably doing the same thing I am right now, but I was curious to know what their level is. They're level 70 already. Are they? They're also a gunbreaker. Cool. And they're wearing the same gear that I am. They just changed it. Cool. Yeah, and they're using the same gunblade I am. So I didn't do anything special to get this gunblade. When I finally got off free trial and went to full account, I went right straight to the market board, and this was available, so I bought it so I could have a cool glamour. So I didn't do anything cool to earn this. I don't know if this used to be a really hard one to get or anything like that, but I just got it because it's dope. Oh, so this is like a little side port on the way to where we're trying to go. We gotta go earn the blessings of pirates. I've heard this story before. I wonder if there will be a little bit more questing and combat here. Maybe this is a way to break up the pacing a little bit. How the hell am I supposed to get out there? Hey, I can ride my chocobo. There we go. My chocobo's got the little mail carrier stuff. Too bad I'm not on my original account, because I had the 1.0 stuff, and so I had like a behemoth barding for my chocobo, and I think I had Fat Chocobo, a version of Fat Chocobo, and all sorts of cool stuff. Oh, and I can't use it in the water. I don't even know if this is the right way to do it, I guess? Feels weird that the game's like, oh yeah, just go hop in the water. Oh no, it sure is. She's swimming too. I'm also trying to remember a little bit about Lisa's story. So I remember that in the original game and throughout all of Heaven's Ward, she's dressed differently. She has a mask over her face, and she goes by the name of Ida, I believe, YDA. And then at the start of Stormblood, she kind of goes through a transformation here, goes by Lise. And if I remember right, Ida was her sister, who she lost or something like that. And at this point, and I don't want to get into spoilers for another game, but I might be crossing this with a very famous JRPG that I absolutely adore. But I think there's a similar storyline. I think Lise was going as or posing as Ida in honor of her sister, perhaps. I don't remember exactly. Again, being away from a little while, you really lose or get out of the loop on some of this stuff. Maybe I'll try to look back up and do like a YouTube primer on the story up to this point before I play next time. All right. Maybe I should put the sprint button on my mouse. Awesome. I think Laura's getting ready to go to bed. Good night. Those of you that are watching, I just got some feedback from Laura that the video might be a little bit laggy. Like sound is good, balance is good, but audio might be, or video might be lagging a little bit. She wasn't sure if it was on her end upstairs. So if anybody's watching this and you're noticing dips in frame rate or lags in video, let me know. And then the next time I stream, I'll adjust the bit rate and see if I can get that to be any better. I am streaming over Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi is pretty damn good and our router's a beast, but our house just isn't properly wired right now to do a hard wire, and that's a much bigger project than I want to take on or pay for somebody to do. So as long as this is functional, we're going to keep using it. They called that guy a shellback. I wonder if that's a positive or a negative term. It didn't sound very positive. Another cutscene. You wish to pay the ruby tithe, yes, with your guild perhaps? It is just as well. Foreign currencies are in demand these days. I would pay for their passage to Authard. Man, the Sorban guy, what a bro. Does some meet with your satisfaction? The sea has been quite tempestuous of late. I cannot say with confidence that you would reach your destination safely unless you tripled it. You take me for a fool? I know the price, as do all. Alas, we live in interesting times. As you came from Kugane, I should think I need not tell you that. The shadow of war looms. The wise and the cautious shirk our waters and our custom, and the foolhardy sharpen their knives in anticipation. Meaning? Sir, you've got to come quickly. The bastards are at it again. I tried to convince them to stop, but they weren't having it. Very well, I will be there shortly. A proposition. Your comrades strike me as a worthwhile investment. I would not hear men name me a cat before Koban, so I shall consider their tithe paid, not for what they have done, but for what I expect they will do. Yes, please, point me at the bad guys. Let me kill them. Yeah, I must actually be in the first, like, quest zone proper. Not, there was already a quest zone, but this must be an actual questing hub in Stormblood, because this map is a lot bigger than I thought, so that's good. I keep thinking we'll quickly hop to on a boat again and go to our next area, but it do be 1 FPS. Uh-oh. Huh, that's weird. On my end, it looks good. I wonder what the deal is. Laura is streaming the video upstairs, but let me... Sorry, I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to hop and I'm going to open a browser window so I can see what it looks like. So I can see what it looks like on my end. Because a 1-frame Twitch stream is no good. So I can see what it looks like on my end. When I'm sitting here still, it looks fine. A 1-frame Twitch stream is no good. Let me move around and see what it's like. So I moved around a little bit. Let me have the stream catch up. When I'm sitting here still, it looks fine. A 1-frame Twitch stream is no good. Let me move around and see what it's like. Oh, that is framey as hell. Oh no. Okay. So I moved around a little bit. Give me a second. Have the stream catch up. When I'm sitting here still, it looks fine. 1-frame Twitch stream is no good. Let me move around and see what it's like. Oh, that is framey as hell. Oh no. Okay. I moved around a little bit. Give me a second. Have the stream catch up. I don't think I can mess with these settings while the stream is live, so give me just a second. I'm going to stop streaming for just a second and see if I can fix my video settings. Be right back. Framey as hell. Oh no.